Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 45, take 2 of the Smite Update. My name is Octane Pro, joined by my man here, F. and Krett. How's it going, gentlemen?
Oh, it's going great. How are you doing, Octane?
I'm doing good. And look at that beautiful face only a mother could love. How's it going, F.
It's going fantastic, Octane Pro. How's it going?
Oh my god. So anyways, guys, if you guys are just joining us here, we kind of started the show on another channel because Smite game wasn't working. Thankfully, the employees at Twitch came through and fixed everything. So thank you to Twitch for saving the day here and taking care of everything.
Twitch.
I know.
We appreciate it.
Woo!
Thumbs up. Woo!
Twitch, you want a Guanyu skin code? We'll give you a Guanyu skin code.
Give us Twitch.
I know. Anyways, guys, so we're kind of going to go over some of the things that we went over as we started the show a half hour ago. But we'll just go ahead and go through the things again because there's a lot of really good content, a lot of things we can touch on. So a reminder, guys, in chat that the audio version of this show is available on iTunes. So if you guys want to check it out on your way to work, at the gym, while you're hanging out working in your cubicle, you certainly can. Go ahead and download it on iTunes. Look up Smite Update. And on Android platform, you can look it up as well using your favorite Android app.
What's your favorite, Octane?
Well, mine is Beyond Pod. Thank you very much for asking, F. It's free. That's why it's my favorite. So check it out there. Moving on from there, our first section of the show is community news, and there's a lot to go over here. We'll kind of go through it pretty quickly, and then we'll kind of jump into our esports section of the show. And community news, we did have Hi-Rez Stu posted letting us know on Twitter that Smite game will be making some major patch adjustments here coming up here shortly, adding the new Unreal Engine, which is the Engine 3, which will require you guys to do a whole new pre-requirement install. And also, all your settings will get reset. So, F. has a lot of information about this. He's very knowledgeable in this area. So, why don't you tell us what we could expect from Unreal Engine 3?
Yeah, I mean, basically, this is just a lot of cool stuff that come with Unreal Engine 3. A lot of under the hood, behind the scenes stuff that you won't be able to be like, oh, that's the difference between 2 and 3. Yeah. But when you play, you'll be able to see it. Stuff like right now in Unreal Engine 2, reflections are like just another picture. With Unreal Engine 3, reflections can be coded to be an actual reflection of what they're looking at. And a lot of things like that. Advanced anti-aliasing stuff, which will make jagged edges even smoother. You know, all these little things that will make the games look more realistic is the wrong word, but realistic. You know, games like the Batman Arkham games are built on the Unreal 3. You know, all those stuff with like intense shaders and cool, you know, color graphics, like all those cool stuff that just add up between like the newer games. That's what you'll be seeing with Smite. So Smite should be less cartoony, because Smite's not a cartoony game outside of Cupid, but that's a different story. You know, when you see when you see somebody like Hercules, obviously he's not realistic, but he's not cartoony. Yeah. And this will make that stay more in the realistic realm of things. So I'm a fan of it. It's basically just prettyization, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing there, people to keep in mind, is it's a good business model move, and the reason I say that is because of the fact that, you know, let's look 2-3 years down the road from now. The game is not going to look obsolete. It doesn't really look obsolete now. It has its own type of art style, but if you can build to this engine early, allowing you for some flexibility later on, it'll allow the game to look even more polished like 3 years from now when they're focusing heavily on the graphics. So I think it's a really cool idea. Any comments from you, Krett, on the Unreal Engine?
Yeah, I can't wait for it to look cool. I'm uneducated.
Connecticut.
Wife beater. Okay.
High five, Octane. High
five. All right, moving on from there.
Coming for you.
That's right. You got to wait till next time, bro. Wait till
you
know what I should say? Get in line. Get in line. Moving on from there, during the tournament, we actually had Hi-Rez go ahead and mention quite a few things that are coming here to Smite. No real direct timeline. One of them was Siege Engines in Conquest mode. This is a new mode that they're mentioning. It will be separate from your traditional Conquest mode and your League and stuff like that, which will be Siege Engines. And I know each of us feels differently about this. Krett, what's your thought on siege engines being implemented on a separate game mode for the Conquest map?
I guess I'm alright with a casual mode that's more like Conquest than the other casual modes.
Mhm.
It probably will never see serious competitive play.
It won't.
Um, and maybe it'll be something to keep you when you've got 4 people and you want to play Conquest, but you
Yeah.
can't play Conquest with 4 people. Maybe.
F. Dot, thoughts on it? Like it, hate it? Looking forward
Not
to
for
it?
me.
Not for you. All right, not for you.
Give me conquest or give me death. That's me, baby.
In fact, when he does Conquest, he gets both.
Oh.
I needed a hearty laugh. Thank you very much.
As I was commenting on earlier, if they do add siege engines, I don't want to see their type of like siege towers per se that we see in Arena, which are pretty much just, hey, this is a vehicle-like looking thing that you push into a portal and that's all that happens. I want to see a siege engine that fires from a long distance and does the damage. That's what I'd rather see. If they're gonna implement something, I want to see them do it right. So what are you laughing about like a little schoolgirl?
Everything.
Really? All right. Well, let's move on to a good topic here, and that I think all of us are very pleased.
Wow!
Please.
BMing the new mode. Not a good topic.
I know, right? And that will be Smite on the PS4. Smite was announced. Hi-Rez said that they're looking to put Smite on the PS4 platform, and I know F. Dot has some comments on this. Just the benefit of it for the community, for those of you guys that are looking at this in a negative way.
I'm so excited, Octane. I mean, all right. So, they're going to be separate. You're not going to have to deal with these Xbox or the PS3, PS4 kids in your PC games, most likely. Maybe they will, but that would be kind of a bad decision. But here's the deal.
Okay.
Smite had a very big launch tournament, $208,000 given away for the tournament. The whole tournament included maybe like 2,000 people plus. Very big. Well, let me tell you about a little game called Call of Duty on the Xbox. That same weekend, they had a $1 million tournament. Call of Duty's on the damn can of Monster I'm drinking right now.
Yeah.
Call of Duty's everywhere. And part of the reason Call of Duty's everywhere is because it's a console game.
Yeah.
They play Search and Destroy. So Search and Destroy is played competitively. So it's not that, it's an easy esport. You just respawn all the time. Like, in some game modes, they literally just copy Counter-Strike. But Counter-Strike isn't that big. And the difference is every kid in America that plays video games, for the most part, that has a reasonable amount of money, has a console. And when you boot up that console now, here, Mountain Dew ad, Doritos ad, and then you have twitch.tv/Call of Duty or whatever, who the hell plays Call of Duty on stream.
Sure.
And these kids get to watch these people play Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you have all these random 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds interested in esports because it's force-fed to them by their entertainment system.
Yeah.
Well, you put Smite into the mix. You throw that onto PS4. You put the Smite streams on the front page, and all of a sudden, you have people that are like, hey, let me give this a shot. And then the community just explodes. And those people might never become competitive PC players. Maybe one millionth of them do, but the majority of them will be like League of Legends. And the difference between League of Legends and the majority of other esports is the same thing that separates traditional sports or professional sports from esports. A lot of people that watch the MLB, NBA, PGA, they don't play professional golf, basketball, hockey, football, etc., but they're interested in it.
Yeah.
You don't have to play at a high level in order to like it and understand the game. With Dota, you kind of need to play. With StarCraft, you don't need to, but a lot of people do.
Yeah.
With
that's
League
true.
of Legends, you can watch as a fan without playing at a high level.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Smite has the same appeal.
Yeah.
But the difference is capturing that audience, right? So League of Legends has captured that audience just by being gigantic as hell on the internet. And Smite's doing the same thing. But what's one thing that Smite can do that League of Legends can't? Put it on a console because of the way the third person view works. You can just work out on a console. I've played with an Xbox controller and I'm a mouse and keyboard guy, but at the end of the day, it's totally possible on a controller. You can expose people to this game that have never played. So League of Legends is the most played game in America, more so than baseball, from Little League all the way up to the major leagues. That's a real stat. You can look that up. I am serious. It's actually a thing. Okay?
Yep.
But I still have tons of friends that don't know what League is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that right there is the schism between console and PC. Console gamers are a little more casual for the most part. You know, PC gamers tend to be a little more competitive, a little more into it. So if you can get the casual audience that is console players, then that's a whole other audience for your esport that is completely untapped by any MOBA in the world.
Yeah.
So I, for one, am super excited. Somebody in chat mentioned before that more people equals more money, equals more tournaments, equals bigger footprint, equals just bigger hell yeah for Smite. And me as a Smite nerd, that's just awesome. Right now, one of the problems with the esports scene is that it's just top four. And really, realistically, there's only 5 teams, 6 teams. So where the hell are you going to go with that? You expand the casual scene, you expand the competitive scene, and all of a sudden you have tons of teams that are competing for $8 bazillion at the launch at the future finals, and bam, you got a new esport. So me, I'm not going to complain about how crappy these console players are going to be. I'm not going to complain about the average age being 12. I'm not going to complain about these people being BM. I'm just going to be happy that they're going to bring their wallets, they're going to bring their eyeballs, and they're going to bring their friends, and it's just going to make our esport larger and more powerful.
Welcome to the F. Show, folks. Appreciate you guys coming out today. I do. Go ahead, Krett. You have comments. I have comments.
So just to double up on what F. said, I was going to say about half of that. And I agree completely. And if you don't agree, you're the reason the Smite Reddit sucks, because your opinions are bad.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing is with the console is, and just like F. had talked about, right now it's, you know, we're always saying, like, at the tournament, like, we're the 3rd largest MOBA. It's going to be extremely difficult to get 2nd or 1st. There's just, the industry giants have already been set. Smite kind of came into the MOBA scene a little bit later than its huge explosion. And what do you do to go ahead and counter that? They go ahead and they go in a direction that the top other 2 MOBAs have been so successful in, or not been successful in, and that is the console scene. And tapping into that, just like F. had said, you know, we're going to gate an audience. No one else is over there. It's like open real estate. It's like, hey, but remember, like, if Smite does go in this direction, they need to do it right. They need to do it polished. It can't be clunky. It has to be perfect the first time. And to comment one more time on that, F. had talked about the casual scene. And, this is going to grow the casual scene, which then automatically grows the competitive scene. You got to remember, that casual scene is like the foundation for the esports scene. Like, that fuels it. It's a direct correspondence. Like, if you were to put together your little flow chart or whatever, it just funnels directly into it. The casual scene creates the hype around esports, creates everything around it. So I think there's some big moves to make here, without a doubt, and I think that's a good one. I think Hi-Rez Erez made the announcement, so which means that I'm hoping that they're pretty decently far along compared to like Dota or League of Legends being, oh crap, they just announced they're going to be doing it. Let's go ahead and, you know, start up a department. You know, like, I really hope they're pretty far along with it, because I think it could be very successful. Moving on from there, we also have the next god was announced to be a guardian, and we briefly talked about it, but it sounds like there's definitely a need for another guardian. Krett, what are your thoughts on that?
Another guardian is cool, but more than a need for another guardian is a need for guardians in the meta. Right now, you run Athena jungle, Amir jungle, and Geb support, and those are your guardian options in high-level play. You could run other stuff, but you don't. And there needs to be something coming into play to incentivize guardians. Maybe it's a play style, maybe it's an ability to jungle, because guardians do bring a lot to the table, but right now we're sticking with warriors. And another guardian could perhaps bring the change of approach that is needed to bring guardians back in the meta, but nonetheless, guardians are fun to play, and they haven't been played. Going to the launch tournament, did we see anyone but Geb from the guardian role?
You saw Ymir, who went solo lane as Azalea.
Okay, so
We
you
saw-
had
we
a
saw,
solo Ymir.
We saw support Athena.
Yeah.
We did. Okay.
Yeah.
But even then, like, we didn't see Bacchus. Bacchus is still good. Intoxicate is still good. It's just not what people want right now.
Yeah.
And in order
Exactly.
to make Guardians what people want right now, you need a change of thought, and maybe a new Guardian can bring that, but probably is going to have to be something else. And I want to see Guardians able to jungle. Like, I think it's interesting. I think Guardian is really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Guardian Jungle is definitely pretty interesting. What I think is, I think Guardians totally work. It's just the fact that the warriors we have right now are Odin with a ring of God's damn spears. We have Sun Wukong with multiple. Sorry, we have Sun Wukong with multiple knockups and a stun.
Yep.
We have Guan Yu, who's Guan Yu, you know, and we have. If you take a look at Geb, the Guardian that does get played, he has a unique shield ability, and he's got a knockup and an AoE stun, and it's just the kits. I think the kits in some of the older Guardians are outdated. Ymir isn't mobile enough for the current meta strategy of rotating a lot.
Well, it's even just saying like even the current meta of the or I should say the current setup of the current gods. Like a lot of the new gods that are coming out are super mobile, and then just like F. had said, like Ymir. Like, are you kidding me? Like,
well,
I mean,
yeah,
he does have a lot of CC though, but still.
Exactly, but Ymir doesn't have the mobility to really allow him to rotate to mid harpies, etc.
And it's also long cooldown CC, which is. But here's another way to look at it, right? Going back to the launch for a minute, let's look at the list of warriors. Chalk, we saw Chalk banned. Yep. Nemesis, we saw Nemesis banned. Tyr, we saw Tyr banned. We saw Odin banned. We saw Vamana played to great effectiveness. We saw Sun Wukong banned and played to great effectiveness. And we saw Guan Yu played to great effectiveness. I'm not counting Hercules. Hercules is the only warrior that isn't OP.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He is if you don't suck.
He's not nearly as OP as every other warrior. Every other warrior.
Hercules is amazing.
Okay, fine, but every other warrior is more amazing. Like, they're so
always
strong.
better.
They bring so much to the table, and that's the problem with Guardians right now. Is that warriors are OP.
Moving on from
it's
the next...
probably itemization.
Yeah.
My money's on itemization.
No, I mean honestly, like if you real quick, we take a look at the Guardians. You know, Athena has a taunt, which is amazing, but preemptive strike isn't that hot.
Nope.
Shield wall is a lot of damage, and Defender of Olympus is a lot of damage, really good defensive ability, but not CC. And that's what you get out of the Warriors, and that's why the Warriors are picked more than the Guardians. It's just the older kits on the Guardians are just not as important. You know, the Belch of the Gods is just canceled by literally everyone. Belly Flop's amazing, but Belch of the Gods can't stun, and that sucks. Intoxicate is sort of a CC, but not really. And like I said, when it comes down to it, Sun Wukong just has 2 knockups. You know, Odin has a damn ring of spears that you can't escape. Like the Guardians just have more exciting and support friendly abilities. If you bring out, like, you know, the reason Geb gets picked, it's not a surprise that Geb is one of the more recent Guardians, or the most recent Guardian, because the kits of the older Guardians just have fallen out of favor, whether it be because of the meta or because of how the Warriors kits are. So it's less a deep rooted thing with Guardians and Warriors, and more just look at the moves. So if you continue to put out characters in the Guardian role that have attractive kits and abilities and buttons to press, then you might see the level of warrior play go down. Like, you know, the next Hindu god that comes out, the next Guardian that comes out, he might have a lot of cool CC, he might not, and if he does, don't be surprised if you see him picked over Sun Wukong, etc. Like, it's all about the move and the skill set that they bring to the table, if they have it. It's less intrinsically about the role title.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the question is, what do? Do you go back to the Guardians and adjust their kits to make their kits have more CC or stronger CC, longer lasting CC, or do you go to the Warriors and have the Warriors either not have as much protection available to them so they can't build hybrid, or do you lower their amount of damage? I mean, what direction do you go in order to move the meta back to Guardian? Because at this point, the meta right now is pointless. Like, it's pointless unless it's very unique team strategy situations.
I think that's fine.
What do you think, Krett?
I think if you want to bring Guardians back in, you have to make their damage less avoidable. Like
Okay.
warrior damage, like Tyr, he comes up to you and then he combos you, right? And it's not like you can just get away from that. It's not like it's something that he has to set up. Like he just walks up, his fearless connects, and that's the combo, and it goes. Guan Yu's Tallow Assault, and yeah, you can interrupt it, but like that's one of the most interruptible warrior damage things in the game, and even then it's immune to knockback. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of options that don't work for that. Who else? Vomana is very good at chasing down mages. That's what he does. He walks up to the mages and chases them down.
Yep.
Same with Nemesis. But like even Ymir, who's probably most able to connect with his damage out of every other Guardian, is like you freeze and then you do your carpet, glacial spikes, then you drop the wall to try and block them off, and then you go into your ultimate. But even then, you probably won't get past the freeze against a good player, and you might not even. It's just so reliant on a variety of variables to work.
Yeah.
Whereas landing damage on warriors is simpler. And that's not to say that Guardians are too hard, but that's to say when something gets more intricate to do, your chances of doing it against a very good player reduce drastically. Unless it's something that you're in complete control of. Like the full Tyr combo, you're in complete control of that. It's intricate, but it's up to you to not drop the ball. Guardians is up to you to find the situation where they can't respond to it, and that's a lot more abstract and less likely to happen.
That's true. That's true.
So like Ymir ult, and this is the best way to hone my point. Ymir ult's crazy effective. It does tons of damage, but using Ymir ult effectively is finding your opponents in a situation where they can't get out of it.
Yeah.
It's not creating the situation, it's finding the opportunity. And creating the situation is much stronger on supports than finding opportunities.
No, I completely agree there. I can see that. That's a good point for sure. Before we move on to the next section, want to remind people in chat, if you guys would like a chance to win a Guan Yu convention skin code, go ahead and tweet at hashtag. Sorry, got to put it out there. You can tell F.'s not paying attention. Pound, baby, pound. Hashtag Smite Love, and post that on Twitter with a comment telling us why you love Guan Yu. And F. is going to be picking in about 10 minutes the winner. And then I'm going to have Krett pick one and a little later on in the show. You can tell F.'s like, what? I'm doing what? I have to do what?
Nah, somebody tweeted me a very weird Smite video that I'm not going to retweet, and
okay.
I am just...
Okay. Anyways,
right.
I put a link in chat. That should bring us to where you want to be.
Yeah, you like that one?
Love, pound Smite Love, and then just do all. And look in the last hour or so, and just pick one out you like, and we'll announce the winner on stream. Anyways, I like that one. It's all good. So the next thing to talk about is Hi-Rez announced this past week, made an announcement of the plan for 2014 for the esports scene. And this is a huge deal. Huge deal. And taking a look, we can go ahead and see. I posted it in chat if you guys are following along here. The remainder of the month will be compiled of partnered sponsored tournaments. So what we had like prior to the launch event, where we had Alienware tournament and the Dignitas and the Smite 2 tournament. Those types of partnered tournaments will continue the rest of the month. Starting in May, May, June, and July, so a 3-month period, we're going to have the qualifiers. And it reads here, qualifier weekend tournaments, NA on Saturdays, EU on Sundays, so it'll stay the same. And it will allow teams to earn points towards the invite-only regional LAN. So very similar to the qualifier tournaments, that we had for the 100, which became the 200K tournament, where each week you played, depending on how things worked out, you went ahead and were rewarded points. Those points calculated up, and then that helps you to move into regionals. So regionals will be in August, and regionals will be a LAN tournament versus everything else is online. And regionals is a sizable LAN tournament, one in North America, one in EU. 4 teams will be invited from the qualifiers. And the top 2 finishers of the regional LAN will then qualify for the playoffs. So I guess if I'm reading this right here, it's only going to be 4 teams in the regionals. Does that sound pretty accurate to you guys then?
Yes.
Okay.
That's so right now we're running on a 4 teams matter basis.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is right now. Eventually, because the thing is, you want more teams to matter than you want
There's
more
just
teams
not
to
enough
place
teams,
than you
though.
have that are relevant, right?
Yeah.
So you've got 5 or 6 relevant teams, 4 teams take the spot, so people lose, and that's important. So in order for us to have 6 teams taking the spot, you need 8 teams or 10 teams, or whatever, that are relevant.
Exactly.
So if they do 4 teams at a LAN, I assume it's going to be something like a play pool, like a group pool is the way it's going to work out. Kind of like a round robin type of scenario is what it sounds like that they're going to do. I would think. Does that sound accurate to you guys?
It does sound accurate.
With
They're
4, yeah.
I mean, with 4, you're going to have to. I mean, they did 8 this time around at the 200K, and it worked out great. Double elimination. You had enough teams. But with 4, I assume it's going to be some type of pool play at the regionals. And then moving on from there, in late fall, they're going to have wild card qualifiers. So other teams will still have an opportunity to get in with the qualifier, with the wild card qualifier. So if you started out early on in like May during the qualifiers and your team fell apart, you reformed, you'll have a chance later on for the wild card qualifiers. And then finally in November is the playoffs, and playoffs determine entry into an even larger tournament that has not been announced. So throw it over to F. First. Thoughts on the format of the upcoming, I guess we'll call it season of Smite Esports?
I think it's so cool. It's really sweet, in all honesty. I mean, yeah, you do that, Krett. I just think it's so cool. I mean, so one of the things that I always talk about, and I've talked about previously on this show and on many other shows, is the importance of a league-based system. If you take a look at the games that succeed, professional, action, traditional sports, whatever your prefix is, you look at MLB, NFL, NHL, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They succeed in part because of their easy to digest season system and the things that the season system bring. You have storylines and things that can't be replicated in an event-based system. You have you have the Spurs, who have won 15 seasons in a row because, like Denial, they cultivate a really family-oriented culture. They train players from the ground up. They don't do a lot of trading, and that type of storyline can only come from a beginning, middle, and end of a season. Something where like there's a beginning and an end, and teams can create their own legacy, sort of. And if you look at the event-based games in America, we have things like poker and billiards and boxing, and outside of Manny Pacquiao and what's his name, the other guy, haha. Who the hell else do you know from boxing? And the answer is, unless you're a boxing fan, and there's definitely some boxing fan that's gonna show me up in chat. The answer to that is because there's no season, which prevents every single game from being potentially mattering, right?
Yeah.
When it's event based, if my favorite guy isn't playing, I don't care because the implications aren't there. When it's season-based, the Knicks might be playing early in the day, and at nighttime, the Team A plays Team C, and I care because if Team C wins, then my chance of getting into regionals is better, and it creates a system where, as a casual fan, I want to be more interested in just one game a week, one game a year, one game a season. And so with the season, you get the storylines, you get the amplification of importance for each individual game, and it gives teams something to play for, rather than just like, all right, let's get a team together, try to win $2,000. Oh, we lost. I hate all of you. Let's make a new team. It enforces people to stick together, which will enforce the legacies because you can't swap teams. You're going to force people and players to become more mature and grow. And what happens when the players mature? The sport matures. And it's just so important to have this system, the season set up, that I'm just, as a fan and as a broadcaster and somebody in the community, I'm just excited as hell. There's a reason that the LCS is in its 4th season and looks fantastic. And part of it is because of that S word I've said so many times, season. It's just so important, Octane, to have a concise, easy to digest and understand system, and it's going to give teams something to really fight for and look forward to, as opposed to the short-term goal of just the event money. So I'm very happy, and I think this is the first of many very good choices that Hi-Rez is going to make involving their game.
Yeah, so
Now-
go ahead, Krett. I know you have some comments on that for sure.
So to jump in on that point, there was something that came up before the Path to Smite launch tournament, and we saw it with Evil Empire, and we saw it with Reason Gaming, where they announced that you'd have to lock into a team through the launch tournament, and you could not play for any other team the moment you played in the tournament. So,
Yep.
like once Eonic subbed for Cognitive, he was on Cognitive and could not play for Denial or Snipe or anyone else. That is important, and it's necessary so you don't break up your teams and you have a consistent path and players aren't just hopping around to whichever team's the best. And it's like, oh, Cog won this week. Well, we'll take Pon from Denial because
Sure,
he's their
sure.
best player or something like that. You don't want that because
No.
then you just end up with one super team and you don't have competition or whatever. But at the same time, teams should be able to switch it up at some point if you're talking about a long season.
Yeah.
I believe they said May, June, July. That's 3 months, so
Yep.
it's not too long. But it still would be nice to have one point where it's like, okay, you're no longer locked to your teams. You can trade one player or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we had
Something.
briefly talked about before about something about how like a certain portion of your team has to stay static for a certain amount of time. I remember back like when there was this like league, like a season with Woggle back in the day, and they allowed a certain amount of
Oxane, can you permit me in chat, please?
Nope, not allowed. Yeah, I'll have to find you. I don't see.
WCG.
I just have to find your name, like where you're at, and click on you.
Isn't it explanation permit?
Yeah, but I have to find your name. I don't know how to spell your name, bro. How do you spell your name?
Kretata,
Kretata?
TUH.
Oh my god, seriously? Can you guys combine your words together again for me? Holy crap.
Kretata, TUH.
Whizbang's got me.
Good, thank you. So anyways,
Okay, with
I think it's very important. I think it's very important that we. Wow, you guys are assholes. So I think it's very important that the rosters are static, but also, as you said, have flexibility, and I think that's important. And it'd be really cool to Hi-Rez on their channel to be, or on like on the esports channel, on the esports website, I'm sorry, where you go, you can have like your agents and stuff like that, because I think that would be really cool. Just as F. had talked about, having free agents available to go ahead and be added in or rotated in and stuff like that. I think it's a really cool idea. I just don't want to see us back to the day of Curse and Root, and where literally it was like, all right, let's just keep mixing the. Every week you had almost a different set of team members, because they were just swapping people around to go ahead and just win the tournament. So I'm just hoping that when this does take place, which they did. I mean, Hi-Rez did an amazing job at the 200K tournament with the rules. Were any of you guys around when they read those? I don't think you were they?
We read them in advance.
They read the
No,
rules.
but-
They were like 12 pages long and took over an hour to go over. Like, but you know what? It's perfect. It was, people got to ask questions, nothing, there were no problems, anything like that. So I was really, really happy with it, and I think they'll do a really good job with that as well. F. Let's go ahead and have you look for a winner for the Guan Yu skin code, if you can, for us, please.
Sure, and while I do that, I'll just touch upon that. I think it's really important to lock teams in.
Yeah.
Because of what you just said with Root and Curse and sort of
Yeah.
what Krett said about trying to create a super team. But also, I think it's important to professional sports, traditional sports have like a trade deadline, because there's a lot of trades and
exactly.
negotiation, and that's something that our esport just can't do at this moment in time.
Not yet. Not
and-
yet.
Exactly, not yet,
Yep.
and I respect that. But something that I would like to see is maybe halfway through the game, or 3/5 through the season,
Yeah.
we have a week or a couple of days where teams can either draft from the free agent pool or and of course by free agent pool, it's just a fancy term for dudes that play ranked real good.
But you know what? That would be really cool to have actually
exactly.
a pool that, like, this is all you could pull from. So you can't go pulling from another team, which would be kind of interesting, because then, like,
Well,
if a
yeah,
player
I mean-
wanted to leave, they would
Yeah.
have to leave and it'd be cool if there was a certain amount of time that they had to be between a team and the free pool or the pool.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
well, waivers and stuff like that becomes interesting when it comes to like contracts and stuff. But at the end of the day, I think it would be cool if you could swap from team to team. But if, let's say, I have a team and Krett's my support and we're sitting there and I'm just like, Krett, you're just not doing it. I've seen this Auror guy. I really want crappy support gods on my team. I like Fenrir support. See you later, Krett. I'm gonna get Auror. And like there should be like a 3-day opening for me to do stuff like that.
Sure.
So I do agree with that. And I have picked out my winner.
Okay.
Tweet said,
Can you link, after you read it, can you link me the direct message, like the direct link to that tweet?
Yeah. I'll link it in chat as well.
Perfect. So who's our first winner of our Guan Yu skin code?
It's at Vickers DeBoss, and he said, I love Guan Yu because Jeff Hindler. Hashtag Smite love.
Why am I not surprised?
And
Seriously?
I need to support that. So I do love Guan Yu because Jeff Hindler. So congratulations, Vicker the boss. You've got your own Guan Yu skin. Use it wisely. Thank you very much for watching.
So Vickers, how you're going to get your code is I'm going to follow you on Twitter. You need to do the same to me, and then I'll send you a private message.
And then unfollow him right away.
So I'm following you on Twitter, or on Twitter now, Vickers the boss. Follow me, please, and then I will send you your code. And thank you to Hi-Rez for supplying them. And guys, we'll do 2 more giveaways. Krett's going to pick the next one here in about 15 minutes or so. So Krett, keep an eye out on those. And let's move into our next section. So we have the actual Smite launch tournament. We didn't really go through any of the results yet. We didn't go through our experience in Atlanta. We didn't go through different things that kind of came up that were a big deal. What are you laughing? Oh, my word.
Jaggerist. We have to follow Octane to win? I don't want to win anymore.
No, you don't. God. I don't.
You know who that is? That's my fellow Tier Monster family. I love you, girl.
So anyways, looking at the results, Team Solo Mid walked away with $104,000, give or take, with 5 Intel i7 4770K processors, which is awesome. That's the processor I'm rocking right now, and that thing is awesome.
Can you send me one?
No. And the what is it? 20 grand, give or take, for each player on the team. Mm-hmm. Not too shabby.
Yeah, for a game that has been out for 5 days, that's not too bad.
On top of that,
I actually,
go ahead. What do you got?
I was watching the World of Tanks finals today, and their prize pool was bigger, but shout out to my man Clutch, he did a great job. But the individual payouts were smaller, and you have 7 players to a team, so their grand finalists took $60K, I think.
Okay.
We actually paid out more to our winning team. Go us.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested
too.
I'm interested to see if Hi-Rez continues to do the community collaboration for the prize pool, because I think it'll be successful every time.
I don't think you could do it all the time, because then it's just like, another tournament.
Well, yeah, but
really?
what I mean by that is, like, if you look at their schedule for next year, the big tournament they're talking about doing.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's fine, but not like the weeklies and stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
Buy a skin before the weekly tournament. Give your team $5 more.
That's right. But the biggest thing I think from them too, it not only is the experience, but also just putting TSM out there even more than what they already have, is a trip to Shanghai, China to compete in the Tencent Games Arena, which will be in June. So we had the Tencent Games Carnival, which was a little while ago when Hi-Rez Studios and Tencent went ahead and announced kind of the game there, that it was going to start in closed beta. And I think this is a big deal. Especially I was talking to somebody about Team Solo Mid, and they said the owner of TSM was actually at the 200K tournament.
Yeah, Reggie.
And I was like, do you know how big this is? Like, okay, TSM took a huge risk bringing on a Smite team, especially before the game even launched. They took on a team. They've had great success in League of Legends. They bring on a team, and then the owner is at an event, sees how hyped and how amazing like the Smite community is, sees his team go ahead and pull out first, walk away with $104,000, and now his team's also going over to China. I mean, as an owner of a team, I don't think you can ask for any more publicity and marketing right there. Like, I think that was awesome. Like, I think it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know if, I mean, Team Solo Mid is a giant brand and organization, and Reginald, Andy Reginald, the individual you're talking about,
Yep.
Reginald played League professionally. He is a celebrity in all shapes of the word, and the LCS was going on. His team was playing, but he opted to show up to the launch tournament. He knew his team was here, and that's a big deal. A lot of the players on TSM were excited to meet him because, as I said, he's a celebrity to people that are interested in esports, and I had the opportunity to talk to him, and he was excited. He doesn't. I remember when TSM first came to Smite, we were talking about the careful selection of Smite, and how this is just the second team TSM has, and
especially to also be in 2 MOBAs, like
exactly
in 2 separate MOBAs as well.
There's recognition that Smite is a game with a future, and for Reggie to be here front and center, talking to Kelly on camera, talking about Smite, and being here and being in Atlanta for the tournament in place of being at the LCS, it's a really big deal. And I mean, that just goes to show TSM as an organization is just such a good organization. That's part of it, but it also goes to show just who cares about Smite, and some who's are more important than others. Okay. And Reginald is a very important who to be interested in your product. So if Reggie's here supporting his team for a little game like Smite, that bodes very well for the future of the game. So I was very excited to see him there.
Any comments there? Team Solo Mid for you, Krett, at all?
Dude, Zimstar's so awesome.
Zimstar is amazing.
He's the man.
Really is. He's...
So let's go through.
Tricks Tank though, huge nerd.
Happy 16th birthday to Tricks Tank.
I know, right?
Yo, all right.
Hang on.
I'm sure everyone in chat has heard DM Brennan's rant about you're not the main character. Don't go in 1v5. You won't win. You can't do that. You can't think like that because it makes you lose, and that's true. And there's proof. You're not the main character because Tricks Tank is the main character.
Oh my god. So let's go through the rest of the standings, what they walked away with, and then we'll kind of talk about Atlanta overall, strategy, results, everything. So second place, Team Dignitas walked away with $52,298.40. They walked.
That's a lot of beers.
I know. That's right, Zap. Zapping last. A lot of beers and shots for you boys.
It's like a week, man.
I know. It's a week. That's the bar bill after these boys have been drinking. So they walked away with 5 Intel i7 3770K processors. Third place went to Cognitive Gaming, $30,507.40. They walked away with 5 Intel 3770K processors. Then fourth place, SK Gaming, $13,074.60. So right there, we had 3 teams in the top 3 from 2 teams from North America, and then 2 teams from EU. So it kind of broke out evenly for NA versus EU. Finally, then, 5th place, we had Cloud9 HyperX. 6th place, we had, who we have here? Snipe. 7th place, Denial Esports. And 8th place, Team Coast, which all walked away with $4,358.20. So let's talk about the teams, some of the games, games that were exciting, games where looked like it broke the meta. It's something completely different that we didn't expect to see. Crazy picks and bans, stuff like that. So first thing I want to point out for sure is just the Team Dignitas versus Team Solo Mid in the early winners bracket, best of 3. Like early on, first day of the tournament, I felt like was almost like a mini grand finals. I thought the games were amazing. I know you guys didn't get a chance to catch all of them just because you guys were casting as well, but did you guys get to go back and see any of that stuff or no?
We heard it.
You heard it?
Certainly heard it. That's.
It was. You know what the experience was like? We were just sitting there, and we were casting. That was game 2, so it was COG.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yep.
And we were just like, and Annister is securing his speed buff in an empty jungle.
Was it really like that? Really? All right.
No one's around. They're farming the minions. They got the last hit. Because, like, I have DM Brandon across it. Pentakill! 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 And I'm like, He's just like left clicking a minion, but I can't hear myself think. So like,
all right. I will say, it would have been maybe a better decision to put the casters in individual rooms. Like the three of us got a chance to see a lot of like the behind the scenes stuff, and we knew there were a lot of individual rooms. It might have been best to do that, because that was not like you could tell over stream and stuff like that. You could hear the crowd from like the main stage affecting the audio for you guys casting the secondary stage. So maybe something to consider. But regardless, what stood out to you? What were some big things that, like, if you're telling somebody about this tournament, that you want to point out about? Teams, the venue, anything about Atlanta, anything. Open it up for discussion.
All right. I think the personalities of the teams were hilarious.
Thank you.
So well.
Thank you.
And we're gonna start with Smite.
Okay.
Snipe.
No, end with Snipe. End with Snipe.
End with Snipe. All right.
Okay.
We'll start with Dignitas.
All right.
Yeah, Dignitas has two halves. The Dignitas drinking team
Yes.
featuring Zapman, Lasses, and
It's the
Antoni.
international drinking team. Yep, that's right.
And then you've got the Dignitas Smite team, who is probably in a hotel room playing like Pokemon, but occasionally are dragged out.
No, that's
by
denial,
the
bro.
Dignitas
That's
drinking
denial.
team to do something. Then you've got Cog, who you didn't see the whole time. They're ghosts. They're like sitting in their rooms being nerds together, and who knows?
Way to
what.
be true nerds, bro. Way to be true nerds.
You've got Denial, who anytime you saw anyone from Denial, they were looking for someone else from Denial.
Where's Jeff?
It was where's Jeff? Where's Payne? Where's Bonbon? Where's Mace? Where's Rush? They were always looking for each other.
The best
It was
was
amazing.
So like the interaction, the first interaction, everybody said hello, and it was like, oh yeah, hi, I know you, I've seen your face, you play Smite, da da da. But the next morning was really when the interaction happened, when everybody was hanging out.
You're talking about Wednesday. You're talking about Wednesday morning then, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. And then so we're all eating breakfast. And there's this long table. There's like 25 people at the table at least. You know, a lot of players. It's I'm sitting there with members of DIG, TSM, rest of Team Europe.
Wasn't it? I think it was Zapman and then Europe actually.
I don't know. There was a lot of different teams at the table. And Payne walks in. And everybody's like, "Oh, hey Payne." And he just walks in like this. Where's Jeff? Where's Jeff? Has anyone seen Jeff? Where's Jeff? Doesn't say hello, doesn't look at anyone, just asks where Jeff is, turns around, walks away. If it was Smite, he would have gotten ganked. It was just so perfect as to who Payne is. I loved it.
That's awesome.
I loved it. Keep going, Krett.
And
I
then,
know. I like this.
So
This is
there's
good.
Team Europe.
Okay.
And it was so hard because, like, the European players don't stream as much as North American players. Like, we know what Zapman looks like. We know what Barracuda looks like, although he was surprisingly skinny and tall.
Oh my god, he's a twig. You felt like he'd fall
I
over and
know,
break a
it's
hip.
just
I was
like-
like, dude, don't fall off that
He
curb or
looks
break a
like
hip.
Apollo, like, it's crazy. But anyway, and then, like, Europe was just all together. So, like, the players that you probably didn't know what they looked like as well, like Gortok and...
Captain Twig.
Yeah, Captain Swig. You're just like... NQ. You're just like...
Where is NQ?
What team are you on?
Yeah.
Which one are you? It was so confusing, and they're always all hanging out in one big cluster.
They did.
Team Europe.
They did.
And then there's Snipe.
And
Snipe
then there's
have Jersey, and they were the team from the hood. Snipe was the team from the hood. After, why don't you take it away with Snipe Gaming?
Yeah, I mean, basically, you know, everybody got to socializing, and Dignitas went to the bar. Cognitive went to be first seed and secretive and do their strategy stuff, and you know, Denial was out like looking for each other, and Europe was all one big team. Snipe comes in a little bit late with their own dominoes, walks up to their hotel room, makes their own drinks, and drinks it in the bar, like in their own solo cups.
Oh, that's
like,
right.
That's so typical. And then you know,
awesome.
during the player introductions on stage, everybody's like in their uniform. You know, TSM has those amazing Letterman jackets, and Snipe comes on with these like matching Smite shirts, except for Wolfie. Wolfie walks in. Coogie down to the socks like he's Big Papa, just walking in with this slow walk like, what up? I'm Justin. Yeah! Like, with his interview with Kelly, you know, everybody's like this, and like, you know, Laz is just like, hey, I'm big. Wolfie's like, yo, yeah, we won. It's pretty good. You know, we did our thing. I'm Justin Wolfie. That's it. Like, it was just so representative of their team. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, dude, everybody just had a great time. Smite
You know what?
community,
There's
real.
one other thing. There's one
What?
other thing. So the varsity jackets that TSM had, everyone was like, "Oh, they look like school bullies," right?
Yeah, that was Brandon. That was
And
Brandon all the way.
Oh yeah, and he's right. He's right. They did. But Thursday morning, we get to the venue, and I'm about to grab the last croissant, and Cuvo just like rolls in out of the jungle, ganks the last croissant, and just pieces. I'm like, damn, he is a bully. Homie's like
Bullied.
16, and he ganked my croissant. I'm still mad.
Yeah, right?
I'm still mad.
It's the haircut.
It's the oh my gosh, the
Yeah,
haircuts.
dude.
Gotta love the
Cubo
EU
Fred has
haircuts.
this little thing. Cubo
Yeah.
Fred has this little thing where, all right. So he's like very short around here. It's a perfect like
Yep.
360 that's short. He's got this hair, and it comes back into this like adorable little ponytail right here, and it's so cute. It's hilarious and great, and I wish that I could pull off something like that. It just looks so cool.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those things where you were like, yeah, you're European. Like,
It's
you
funny
knew
because
it
someone was
right
like,
away.
"What's up with your hair?" And he was like, "Oh, it's really popular where I'm from." All right.
Really? All right.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude, Europe's a big country.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Krett your SAT test. Europe's a big country.
Don't worry about Twitch. Him going ahead and tutoring you on Smite. Have him tutor you for the SATs, man. He's a genius.
Yo, I'm good at both.
Sorry. So anyways, let's talk about some of the games and stuff like that were a big deal. So you talked about the Pentakill by Game Hunter, which I think a lot of people remember that game for sure. Was really amazing.
Pentakill!
Yes, for sure. On top of that, some other ones to mention, which a big one for you that you had actually brought to my attention because I was not watching that game, was the huge gold deficit with COG. Tell us a little bit about that one.
That was amazing. So Smite came through and just booty slapped COG game one. They just won.
Yeah.
And they won in fantastic
30
fashion.
minutes,
Yeah.
multiple 5-0 fights, just straight up 5-0.
Yeah,
Straight up
just-
5-0. It's
they just-
incredible.
Yeah, I mean, they just kind of beat them. And I'm sitting there calling these games along with Krett, like, yo, they just, like, it wasn't no, like, garbage, lucky in the beginning, eke out a win. Like, they just beat them in a full 30-minute game. And then game two, the same thing happened. They were up by 18, 17,000 gold,
Wow.
35 minutes in, just going to do the same thing. And then, COG killed them.
Is that it? Is that it? Is
So
that it?
what happened was there were 4
Kill.
towers. There were 2 phoenixes and 2 towers,
Okay.
and COG was dead, but they were respawning soon. They go for the kill. They've got a Bastet. Shin carried the early game, and he Razor Claws.
Okay.
He Razor Claws, and the cats hit Dare to Care.
Okay.
Or the claws hit Dare to Care. The cat switch target. They can't get the Titan. Then Dare to Care drops the Cataclysm. Barracuda spawns. And he doesn't get the 80 carry triple kill
Okay.
where you just clean up.
Yeah.
He
yeah.
gets a
100 to
triple
0.
kill.
100
He
to
fought 3 people, and he killed 3 people. Now, granted, he had a Titan helping him out.
Just a
0.
little
It's
bit.
still Barracuda.
Yeah,
But
it's still pretty
like,
sweet.
yo, Barracuda. And basically what happened was that Snipe made a mistake.
Okay.
And partially was mechanical. Shing's Razor Claw hit the Geb and it wasn't supposed to. And partially it was a risky call, and they didn't necessarily have a great backup plan. And they gave COG an opportunity this wide.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dare and Barra make a play. And they stay in it. It's not even the start of the comeback. They stay in it. And then they just come back and they win. Like, it was incredible.
Yeah, it was
And then game
like
3, Snipe was just like, well, duh.
they lost in like 19 minutes, not even.
Oh.
Like,
They were just
like,
done. They were done.
Oh.
Yeah, because like, dude, you
The
don't know.
psychological side of things is
Of course, and I
Yeah.
mean, like calling that game, watching Barracuda take 3 people down from 100-0. Like Krett said, granted there was a Titan, but like, it's still an amusing cop killing 3 people 100-0, and like, They just came, and that 17,000 gold lead turned to 16, 15. Gold Fury turned it into 13, 12, 11. Gold Fury turned it into 9. And then all of a sudden, everybody's even, and Cog's like, yo, we're the #1 American seed. This isn't how this story goes. And they just booty slapped him.
Yeah.
And then the third game, Snipe was like, yeah. And I just lost. Like, I don't know, man. It was insane. It was very cool to watch. I mean, I'm all right. I wanted Snipe to win that best of 3. Bam.
Yeah.
I really wanted them to win.
Okay.
I wanted to see an underdog win. I wanted to see the unsponsored team make it further than the first seed. You know, and no disrespect to Cog, I love those dudes, but I just wanted to see the Cinderella story. You know, as a broadcaster, I don't root for teams. I root for storylines, and that's one of the best storylines you can really have. The unsponsored rank 3 team comes back to beat the undefeated ranked 1 team that everybody hates. Ah! You know, and like I was rooting for that, and at the end of game 2, I would just sit there like, oh my God, Cog's done it. It's amazing. Like, I was just going nuts because you just can't help but go nuts in those situations. You know, I think that's a record. Like, it has to be a record for coming back from one of the biggest deficits in our Smite league, our very young league history. So
but you know
I
what?
went
It's
insane.
a record. It's a record that was immediately challenged by SK Gaming because the next day,
Yeah.
Very
in the
true.
losers bracket, Cog gets a 15k gold lead, and then they go for the Phoenix,
Yep.
and their initiator, a tier, gets caught and gets murdered by like everything.
Everyone.
He was stuck on the other side of an Odin cage, and everyone just killed him. And then SK comes back,
Yep.
and Snipe was just done. They're just like, oh. Man,
Yeah.
that hurts.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. So I gotta ask, land environment, are jukes real? Are jukes
Of
real?
course.
How
Land
about
environment was weird.
Yeah,
because,
wasn't it?
Like, there were some characters like, oh, this character's gonna come in and he's gonna be great, and then it's like you realize that as you get closer to 0 ping,
Yeah.
because your jukes get better, I guess, the character becomes worse. Not drastically worse, but like tier wasn't as effective as people would expect, and not as effective as he will be next weekend, probably.
Sure.
Thanatos got wrecked. I don't know. I think that's partially LAN. I think it's partially karma for F-Dot, and I think it's partially people are learning how to deal with Thanatos. But I do think LAN and F-Dot's karma had something to do with that.
I think Thanatos was just played by players that don't play Thanatos well.
That's a good point. No, for sure.
Shing
We
got
saw-
wrecked too, man.
Everybody gets unlucky, and
Yeah,
I think Shin got shut down, and I think Pon and High Rock just didn't play Thanatos.
And Lasses. Lasses did
also
that.
doesn't favor Thanatos.
Yeah, that's
Who
true.
favors Thanatos?
Shing would have bet. What the hell was that? Shing would
Shing
have.
got
Oh, it's a
wrecked, dude.
No,
Shing got wrecked.
Shing had a bad game. You know, like that, and he got wrecked due to like team stuff. I don't really. I don't know.
Right. That's my point. Is I feel like people
Thanatos
think
is totally
Thanos.
easily shut down, and that's what happened to Shing. But I mean, like, it's not the character's fault when the person piloting the god jumps in 1v5. It's not the character's fault when you're behind 3 levels at 7 minutes in. You know, that's just these pros.
Yeah, I mean, if you were looking early on, you were looking at like main stage. Like I know you guys have a lot of the secondary stage stuff, but for main stage, I mean, it was amazing to see the jukes by a lot of the guys on Team Dignitas. I mean,
Shadow Q.
the jukes were amazing. Shadow Q had some amazing jukes. Same thing with Lassus on top of that as well. Anatoly, like the Team Dignitas. I mean, they excelled very well in a LAN environment. And the jukes day one, you're like, really? Are you kidding me? Like, how did you get out of that engagement time and time again? And yeah, all right. Final days. Anatoly with the snipes. Are you kidding me? Like, unreal.
He's the Russian sniper. Holy moly,
Unreal.
Anatoly.
Unreal.
Did you really just say holy moly Anatoly?
Yo, you know it. Holy moly,
You're
Anatoly.
the
He
Ju-
played so well.
You're
Yeah.
the John Sterling of Smite. John Sterling, oh my god, you don't want to be that guy. Holy moly Anatoly.
Ugh. So let's finish off.
I'm quoting someone else. I think you said that.
Probably.
That totally sounds like a call I'd make.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
finishing off
What's
Atlanta.
up, Trickster?
Overall thoughts for Atlanta for sure. Just overall thoughts of the event, the competition, the players. Any last comments on that at all that kind of surprised you? Anything like that?
Atlanta food sucks.
Can't contend with New York pizza. You know what can I say?
That's my guy.
So last thing we'll comment on is the venue then. Initial thoughts on the venue, and then the final thoughts on the venue, because we got there. If those of you guys aren't familiar, all three F. got there on Monday. Krett, you were Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
Tuesday, and I got there Tuesday, so we were there quite early before the event started, working with Hi-Rez on some things. So we were there for 7 days or so. So what initial thoughts and final thoughts on the venue?
Honestly, I think the venue was good for what it was, and I'm very excited for the future. But overall, I think the competition was really good. I think the show that we put on for the fans was good with respect to the competition.
Mm-hmm.
There were a couple of blowouts, but that's fine.
Sure.
Sports are unscripted, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
So sometimes you're going to have a blowout, and sometimes you're going to have a 17K comeback, and sometimes you're going to have, an epic 55-minute match. And that's part of the beauty of it, and we had all three. So I think the show that was put on, just a pure sporting event, was really nice.
Mm-hmm.
I think the extracurriculars with the dancers and the cosplayers and stuff, I think that was a nice sidetrack, sort of. I think the venue could have been cooler. Could have been nicer, but for what we did right now, I think was fantastic. And basically, the way I stand, I really liked the venue, and I'm just excited to see where the next venue is, where the future lies. I think all in all, Atlanta was a gigantic success, and we did have to compete with $1 million Call of Duty tournament, so there's that. But if that $1 million Call of Duty tournament didn't happen, I think there would be a lot more press buzzing about the Smite tournament.
Sure.
That said, a lot of people are talking about it anyway.
Yeah.
So I was very impressed with the precedent that was set. Yes, I think the event itself was pretty cool, but more than the event itself, I'm interested in what the statement it made. It made the statement that, like, Smite's real, Smite's here to stay. We actually give a crap, and that's the most important thing a company, a scene, and an esport and a community can do during their launch event. Mm-hmm. And I really commend everyone that came out from the community and everybody that was part of putting it on for the community. I just think it was awesome, and I'm excited for the future.
Sure. Krett, thoughts on the venue?
From my perspective, it was like Hogwarts, which was scary because there were like secret passages going to everywhere in weird rooms. Yep. Like, I had to go get a chair for my desk, and there's just a room with a punching bag and a speed bag for
I did
boxing.
not see that one. I did not see that one.
Yeah, it's up there somewhere, and I was like, what's happening? This is...
Yeah.
And then, but the venue overall was really good. We had a wonderful production value for our first time. We had amazing production. Yep. My boy Brad, my boy Peckies, my boy Adonis. Shout outs to the instant replays.
They did a really good job.
No. Stop this all. Shout out to Hi-Rez Josh. Josh is the one, the backbone that, with like every programming piece that made all that stuff work. Your boy Hi-Rez Josh behind it. So
he was the guy I was working with, and he's really smart. Like, he's really smart at what he does. Like, it worked out really, really well. But yeah, from what I heard, like at home, it was like perfect, like a beautiful viewer experience, which is great. That's what we want. I mean, that's where a majority of your numbers are. As much as it is a LAN event, your stream is extremely important. So I agree with you there, Krett, as well. I like the venue. I thought the venue was good, as F. had said, for our first venue. I'd like to see a little more love towards the second stage setup if they do that again, in regards to going with a venue where, like, I've been to Major League Gaming events and stuff like that, where they did, if you've ever been to an MLG, it's one room that's super long, and they have like 4 stages and 4 audios going at once, and they still make it work. I'd like to see that. I'd like to be able to sit at stage 1 and look over and hear the hype over at stage 2 and walk over to stage 2. And that type of deal. I'd like to see that.
Yeah,
deal. Exactly. With like, sponsors and stuff around the outside and things to do around the outside and stuff like that. It works. I think it's a good model to work towards for Hi-Rez to look at moving forward. The venue that it was at now was great, was awesome, was really cool for like the first venue. But I think it was limited in space. Like the casters, were casters placed right behind the screen. That was probably a logistics issue. Didn't really have anywhere else to go, stuff like that. So I think a lot of that stuff will be kept into consideration, and I think like round 2 will be even more amazing.
I also think that those limitations were really overshadowed by the fantastic talent. You know, I'm not talking about Krett and myself, although shout out to Krett and myself.
Yo, we're fantastic.
They were garbage. Don't let them mislead you.
But no, I mean, like the casters at the main desk, you know, Bart, Drybear, and DM, we see them every week, and you know, I think the DM haters really had to shut up. DM did amazing.
He did.
You know,
and
the Alienware Arena desk, which was filled with Lionheart. We had Lionheart, TK. We had Lionheart, the one caster that wasn't working, whether it was DM or Drybear, and we had how did he say it? Cody Tyson, a.k.a. King Pern, a.k.a. the Perniest Almighty, a.k.a. your boy, DJ Pernicus. We had DJ who did a fantastic job, despite carrying oranges with him all the way across America.
Really?
But also
Really?
Trendkill. Trendkill, who like isn't involved in esports, doesn't really do this sort of thing. Hosted the Alienware Arena desk, or Alienware Analyst desk, whatever the hell it's called, and he did an amazing job. Surprised the hell out of me. And I also got the 2 hosts, which I wasn't familiar with before this event, Josh Clutch Gray and Rachel Seltzer Quirico. They were amazing. You know, Rachel and Josh Clutch and Seltzer were really there just to like hype it up and really introduce everybody to the Smite launch tournament that might have been new to the stream or wasn't a close follower. And you know, Josh got me excited and Rachel reeled me in, and you know, they did fantastic. TK did amazing hosting the analyst desk, and you know, DJ said, and there was a lot of surprises. Honestly, I'm not even being Mr. Political saying shout out to everyone involved, but shout out to everyone involved. Y'all impressed me, which is tough to do. I'm an ornery, hard to impress New Yorker, all right?
No, I'm ornery. I'm ornery.
No, you just have the resting ornery face. But realistically, I'm an ornery guy, and I'm not impressed by much. And Rachel and Clutch blew it out the water. TK blew it out the water. Even your boy, DJ Pernicus, did a great job. And, like, I don't know, man. I just want to give a round of applause to everyone involved because it was just amazing.
You know what amazes me about all of it? Even after the whole tournament, even now, Tranquil is still alive.
We're still live here in the lobby, and I'm about to fall asleep. Like,
yeah, you could definitely tell too. Like a lot of the people they brought in that were not part of the Smite community, like Josh and Rachel and stuff like that. You could still like it was a good move on Hi-Rez's part because they're so experienced in that host role that they excelled very well in it, and that was what was needed. You know, they needed to put on a tournament that was well polished, and they brought in the people to do it. You know, I mean, it was their first big tournament. There was no room for error. You know what I mean?
Yep. Exactly. You know, I was just really impressed with whatever limitations there were production-wise, which I honestly don't think there were. I think the personnel really carried us through. Like Lionheart, Drybear, Bart are just going to be entertaining. You know, the creatures are just going to be entertaining. You know, Clutch and Seltzer really came in, and they were just entertaining. You know, and we had like great calls, great casters, great opportunities from the players, and you know, I'm just super excited at how amazing the event went. And I'm really excited for Smite's future.
Yeah, for sure. So it looks like Krett went ahead and picked our second winner. The punch line is the winner. The punch line is. So I went ahead and followed you on Twitch. Do you want to go ahead, Krett, and read his tweet?
I love Guan Yu because I ain't no Guan Fu.
So if you want to go ahead, the punchline is, and follow me back on Twitter. I will go ahead and send you your code, sir, for your Guan Yu skin. Moving forward, to go ahead and round out the show here, guys, we're going to do just a brief discussion about the latest patch. And I'll throw it over to Krett first, but just want to go over, guys, we had Bastet had a rework, quite a rework, actually, in regards to a lot of adjustments there. We had some new skins come out. The Pirateer skin, also the Feaster Bunny skin is back, and the Golden Scylla is back. And then we also had some additional adjustment and fixes done to the game, some polishing that went on there as well. So I'll throw it over to Krett first. What are some things that kind of stood out to you from this patch?
Bastet, I think it stands out more than anything, and here's what it comes down to. Bastet was already an incredibly strong character. She brought a lot to the table, she's very maneuverable, she has a lot of damage, a fair amount of control through a variety of slows, and is very hard to get away from, but she had one critical flaw.
Okay.
Controlling Bastet was like trying to race a shopping cart.
Okay, why do we pull this
She
analogy
played
out?
like a shopping cart. It was awful. Like, she just felt clunky, and now she's smooth and everything's responsive and it works. And because you can play the character better and it's easier to do what you want and you have more control and there's less timing between your abilities, you can jump in and drop the Razor Claws into the cats, and that happens every time when you want it to happen, nice and quick, and there's not much delay. The character becomes a lot stronger because you're able to chain your moves. That's one big change. Second big change is they changed the properties of the Razor Whip, and now you can pull it to get an increased angle, so it goes from like a 70-degree angle to like a 140-degree angle, which allows you to clear waves a little bit easier. That's nice and helps out in the solo lane. And because of the mage meta in the solo lane and Bastet being a mage killer, that's really, really strong. So Bastet's very strong right now and might need some toning down because they fixed what was broken about the character and broken in a bad way. And in doing so, the character just doesn't have many downsides left, right? It's like if you took the chug mechanic on Bacchus and you made that mechanic not a pile of shit, the character would get better.
So would you
Shoutouts to Chug.
So would you call Bastet strong or OP?
Yeah, I think she's one of probably because of the meta right now. I think she's OP. She just does too good of a job of dealing with mages, especially in the solo lane.
Yeah,
she's very, very strong and very hard to pin down.
Oh, sure. F dot, when you're done giggling like a schoolgirl, thoughts on Bastet from what Krett said there? I mean, do you find her strong? Might need a little bit of adjustment there.
I do think Bastet's really strong. I think her inherent problems were fixed because her problems were more. They weren't like design based; they were mechanics based, and I think they were fixed. Also, shout out to Nabil. What's up, Nabil?
That's right.
What's up?
Everyone's
up. You know what is up actually, Nabil?
What's that?
I was drinking a beer last night and it got warm because I didn't have a Smite beer koozie and it was I was very upset. So
are you talking about this one right here? You talking about this one right here? Oh wait, who forgot theirs in the lobby? That guy right over there.
Somebody took it, thank you, because I went to the front desk and they said they didn't have it. So I don't know, Nabil. I love you. Maybe I'll give you my address and you can mail me a new one.
There you go. No, definitely. Everybody in chat should give shout outs to Nabil. He's the man that went ahead and made everything happen for the launch tournament and kept everything running, made all the decisions. So make sure. There you go, Nabil. I will send you one.
That's my boy.
There you go. And
I love you, Nabil, so much.
There you go.
Also, possibly the best cosplayer.
That's
oh
right.
My
that
God.
Little mana.
Can we talk about that? We had two cosplays. Okay, first of all, I want to mention Dry Bear. So
so good.
Dry Bear ran up there. Ran up there, put on Kelly's black rim glasses, went up there and crossed his arms and went, I hate everything. I'm better than you, and you make wrong decisions. I'm DM Brandon. It was great.
He didn't even need to say he was DM Brandon. Everybody knew who he was. Like right
Everyone
off the bat.
got it.
It was awesome.
But the only one better, and I'll find a picture of it. Yeah, I'll talk about it. But it was great.
Are you talking about the Vomano one that he did?
Yeah.
So those of you guys that saw it, yes, the little mana one. that was up there was actually Nabil. Nabil, and I was completely blown away. I did not think that I would see him in the cosplay contest whatsoever. I was like, wait, is that really? That's him? Holy crap. So, yeah, he was up on stage as the little Mana, and the outfit was perfect. Like, the entire thing, everything was perfect about it. Yeah. Are you finding a picture right now?
Yeah.
So you're going through all the cosplay pictures, trying to find the one of him?
I don't mind going through the cosplay pictures, honestly.
What are you saying? There's some very attractive individuals in this picture.
That's what I'm saying.
That's right. We'll just put it that way. So while you go ahead and find that, we'll actually take a look at the rest of the patch there. Krett, what else stood out to you for this patch? I mean, we did see the team gold reward actually for killing one of the outer towers. That's the first one that you would run into, has been reduced. The gold was reduced by 100. So there were some adjustments there made to that. What other adjustments did you see that you think will be a big deal?
I mean, the gold reduction is kind of... I like it as a change. It means that killing outer towers is less about a gold lead and more about just a little bit more map control focused, which is kind of nice. But it also means that, like, getting a second tier tower is also relatively a much bigger feat because it is giving you a large amount of money. It's equivalent to a gold fury, whereas now, and we actually saw this from Cog in their game against Team Coast, is Coast took a gold fury, Cog killed them and responded with a tower, traded even. That wouldn't really work anymore, but it still would give them map control.
Yeah.
So it's a different kind of lead. But I'm a really big fan of the Privateer skin. It's not a huge change. It does have a nice voice pack, but it's not a drastic redesign like you saw with Lil Mana or what they did with Digimir or Stargazer Anubis. It's a skin, and it's got a different effect for your stance switch, and it's got a slightly different effect for the Lawbringer, but it's a small change, and it's subtle, and that's really nice.
Are you laughing about the picture I just put up?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I agree. What about you, F. Anything else from the patch stand out outside of best stat for you that you're noticing?
It was really the Bastet was probably the bigger change, and just going to regurgitate what Krett said about the towers. It's more about map control, and I like the change. I'm curious if they're going to look at Gold Fury because of it, but I don't necessarily think that has to happen. But I do. The patch was all right. I like the patch, and there we have the picture of Neville, and I didn't catch the cosplayer's name, but both of them look great.
Yeah,
that of course is pre-ultimate and post-ultimate for Lil Mana. Nabil is the one. Nabil is the bigger guy, the guy on the right.
The larger gentleman to the right in the swag, looking good. All right, so we'll swap back over here. Sorry guys, there we go. So take another look at that from the patch there. Any last comments about the patch? Outside of the fact that we feel Bastet may need a little more fine-tuning in order to make her, I guess we could say, a little bit more balanced.
Scylla!
Okay. Any last comments? Go for it, Krett. Oh, Scylla!
Yeah, Scylla got two small changes. One was they just upped the range on her dash because Zoe's a little bit slow, which is fine. I mean, by no means do I think it's too slow.
Yeah.
They just gave it a little bit extra range, which is kind of nice, so it's a little bit more in line with other dashes. Yeah, it's 65, but it still feels like 55, which is weird, just because you can move while doing it. And but the second thing is they reduce the time it takes to become a monster. That means from rank 2 of Sikkim, you can do, or actually rank 1 if you're against a player that doesn't have a dash, you can do the Scylla combo, which is you drop your 2, you hit the Sikkim in the 2, you go into the monster, you cast the monster, and then you pop the 2.
Yeah.
Really brutal combo. It takes full advantage of the magic reduction from that crush. When it does hit max rank. And like I said, on players that don't have a dash, you can hit it from rank 1 of Sikkim. From players that do have a dash, I think it's about rank 2. So scary. Scylla has kill potential now, still bad wave clear, and I think that's actually a really nice place to put her.
Okay. What about you, F. Any last comments on the patch there?
Wards. Wards are really weird. I don't.
Yeah, it is. It takes a few hits sometimes, like depending. It's like I
Yeah, so
noticed
so
that.
basically wards get health now.
Yeah,
I forget the exact breakdown.
it's 100
It's
HP
20 per
plus.
level.
Yeah, yep, 20 per level.
Yeah, so it takes a couple of basic attacks now, which is kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
It feels inconsequential.
Okay.
A lot of the stuff, it just feels clunky, weird. Like, sure, now I got to hit it 3-4 times, but that really doesn't change my life. You know, the only thing it changes one of the smaller, cooler aspects of support. You guys both walk towards the fire giant. You guys both drop down your sentries. Now instead of just like whap, he who's faster wins.
Yep,
Now it's a little bit of whap, 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 whap. He who faster wins.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if you have a second person there, it's interesting. I mean, it's an interesting change that I need to see more play involving.
Okay.
But at the moment, right now, it seems pretty inconsequential. I don't know the reasoning behind it, and I think that I like it.
Okay. You
But-
think? Okay.
I think I like it, but I'm not sure yet. I have to take a look more.
Okay. Okay.
Now,
Yeah,
there's one other change to wards
Sure.
that's really important, and
The radius.
people might not understand it. The radius was reduced on regular wards, not sentry wards. Regular wards now have the same radius as the sentry wards. This means
Yeah.
one very important thing. Previously, you drop a sentry ward on the Gold Fury. You counter ward your opponent's ward. If they're a good support player, they're going to know roughly where you dropped your sentry ward.
Yep.
Mhm.
And then, because wards have a longer range than sentry ward, they place their ward on the other side of your sentry ward. They can see the Gold Fury. You can't see their ward, and that's bad.
Sure.
It has
sure.
been fixed. Won't be a factor anymore. That's nice. The downside, little bit less ward coverages, but
Mhm.
honestly, I like wards being less OP and more prevalent because last patch, before this change, it was like wards are 50 gold and they see everything. Now it's
Yes.
like wards are 50 gold and they see most things, and that's a little
Yeah.
bit better.
Yeah, for sure. No, I completely agree there. Trying to think what else we might have in this patch. I mean, that's pretty much the basis
That's
there.
yeah. That's the gist of it.
The gist of that patch for sure. I guess that pretty much rounds out our show. We started at 5, had to restart it back up at about 5:40. Worked out well. Any last comments from either of you guys about anything we talked about today, or things you guys wanted to go ahead and discuss further?
Efta, did you get a haircut?
Not since the tournament. Why?
It looks different. I don't know. It looks different.
I mean, it's still the.
Maybe it's just because you don't have. Maybe it's because you don't have gel in your hair. I don't know.
I don't use
Oh,
gel.
good.
I use wax. Wait, no,
I
no, no,
wouldn't-
no, wait,
No, it's
no,
putty. It's putty.
I don't use. I don't. What do I use?
Putty. It's putty.
I wouldn't know.
I use forming cream.
Forming
okay.
cream. All right.
It's
I
forming
don't know
cream.
what that is. I have no idea what that is.
J. Crew putty
Check
right
your
here.
privilege.
J.
It
Crew
is
putty.
J. Crew.
J.
Actually.
Crew. I think is it putty or is it forming cream? 'Cause
No,
I thought it
it's
was
forming-
putty. Is it
No,
forming cream?
No, it's.
You have it right there.
Amazon. No, it's.
Oh.
No, I don't do my hair in my room. J. Crew forming cream.
I'm pretty
green.
sure. I'm pretty sure I used the same thing, so it's all good, bro.
Do you? Yeah, right here. American Crew forming cream.
All right.
This is.
Yeah,
what
the
I-
stuff is awesome. It is awesome. Did you just post it in chat?
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah,
everybody
that's the
can-
exact one I have. The exact one.
Oh, get me out! I gotta change.
That's right.
I gotta change. I
That's
don't want
right.
to use the same thing as King.
King
Octane.
That's right. You get it right. You respect. You
I'm
respect.
gonna slap you.
You respect your elders, boy. For
As
sure.
for me, I just wanted to give a shout out to everyone at Hi-Rez, Nabil, Bart, Josh, Kelly, I guess.
APC?
APC
for sure.
especially.
Yeah.
Oh my
For
God.
putting on such a great show. I want to give a shout out to everybody in the show. You know, all of our casters, myself, of course,
Of
myself,
course. Of
Krett,
course.
Bart. Do I really have to thank Bart a second time? Bart, DJ Pernicus, your boy, King Pern, TK, Lionheart, DM Brandon, the hosts, Clutch and Seltzer. Everybody really worked their asses off, and you could tell. Like, you really could really see what was up. So, you know, there's no really left to say. My belly's full, my mouth is empty. Shout out to myself. Go screw yourself.
All right. Now you got the Wolfie look now. Lean back, hanging, chilling. All right, Krett, what about you? Any last things that you want to talk about? Just Atlanta, the
You know what?
events,
I'm gonna
competition.
change it up from FDOT, and I'm gonna say shout out to all of the Hi-Rez employees that you don't know what they do.
All right. I like it.
Hi-Rez Brad. No, I mean I know what Brad does. You guys don't know what Hi-Rez Brad does. Shout out to Hi-Rez Brad. Shout out to Hi-Rez Brian. Shout out to the other Hi-Rez Brian. Shout out to Hi-Rez Mick. Shout out to Hi-Rez KP. Shout out to Hi-Rez Chris. My man got me an Artemis code. Twitter.
I hate you.
Yo!
I hate you.
We talked about this
So
before the
bad.
show. It was
All
awesome.
right.
It was awesome.
No, but like Hi-Rez is making such a great game,
Yeah.
and that tournament gave me a lot of confidence in
Yeah.
not only their dedication and love for the game, not only their ability to pull it off, but also everyone's ability to to pull that off. And I think one of the best examples of that was the YouTube show match. That was just like everyone just pulled it together for that. Like,
That wasn't fun. I got pooped on.
yeah, you're bad. No, not that one. The one that we casted.
The one with
Oh,
the
that was
creature.
a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what it is, and real quick, talking about Hi-Rez, it's something, and excuse my language, but it's something that I really preach a lot about in a lot of different places. And jokes aside, the one thing that Hi-Rez really brings to the table is give a shititude. And
Dude.
It's really
it is very prevalent. It is very prevalent.
it's
I will agree.
so important to succeed in making a multi-million-dollar video game, a billion-dollar corporation, or a $3 cheese sandwich. That's an expensive cheese sandwich. But like, or making a cheese sandwich. Like, if you don't give a crap, then it's going to be just that. It's going to be crap. And Hi-Rez was in a perfect position to not care and let the community carry it and put on a decent show and have a game that'll make them some dough and fizzle out in a little bit. But this show in Atlanta, whether you were at home watching on a stream or if you were there live like me, Krett, and Octane, you could tell that the levels of give a shititude were through the roof. And this company really cares. And I'm excited as hell to be a part of it. I'm excited as hell to be a fan of it because this is something that it's going to do really well. And I'm really excited that people at the helm really care.
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
at the end of the day, that's really what cares. That really what's matters.
You could tell because you could tell that like the Hi-Rez employees that were there were putting in 60, 80 plus week, of work week that week. It was one of those things where like it was an environment where nobody was keeping track of time. They were just working their butts off and it was crazy. Like even the last night, like when some of us had an opportunity to leave that weren't directly associated with Hi-Rez. And later that night, just like touching base with some of the employees of Hi-Rez, they were like, "Oh yeah, we're still at the event." And it's like, "Holy crap!" Like you're still there, and they're like, "Oh yep, got to clean up. We got work tomorrow, whatever." It's like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, so there was definitely a lot of dedication from there, and as you guys had said, a lot of things thrown together that were last minute that came off looking so well polished, which was really really nice actually, and things worked out well. And the production team. I mean, the second and third day, I had an opportunity to be backstage, and they were spot on. Like, they were really spot on for sure. You could tell that this was not the first time that they went through this, which was really cool to see because this was an opportunity that Hi-Rez could either fail miserably or excel and make a name for themselves. And I feel like a lot of people in the MOBA scene are talking about, Hi-Rez Studios right now and Smite. I mean, I think it made a great impact. So, yeah.
We were mentioned on DJ Weekly Esports show.
Excellent. I'll have to check that out. You'll have to hook me up with the VOD. I would love to see that for sure. That's right. He just started that, right, with Twitch? Was that the Twitch one?
No. It's live on 3.
Live on 3. Okay. And then I'll have to go check that out because I used to watch a lot of DJ Wheat when I was involved in the StarCraft 2 scene. Somebody in chat was asking about our third winner. Our third winner is Core Wizard. Please go ahead and follow me and I just followed you, sir, and I will send you your code. His statement was, Guan Yu is a stick-spinning son of a bucket. Love to hate him. So thank you very much, Core Wizard. I appreciate it. Please go ahead and send me a message, and I will get your Guan Yu Convention Skin 2014 code out to you. These codes were given to us by Hi-Rez Studios, so thank you to them for providing these to give to you guys, for those of you guys that didn't have a chance to get one at the event, or you didn't even go and you're having a chance now. It's pretty sweet. So, Krett, when you're not on the Smite Update helping us out here, where can people check out your content?
All right. Well, you can check out my stream at twitch.tv/Krett. I have been talking in chat, so you should be able to find that. That's
There you go.
KRETUHTUH. Drop a follow if you like the content that I provide. I play ranked. Usually stream in the early afternoon during the week. But if you like what I'm saying, you should check me out on Twitter at twitter.com/Krett. And I highly recommend you also follow this loser to my left,
Hey,
Octane Pro.
That's right.
Nah,
That's right.
F-Dot, the real loser.
It's all right. I'll throw it over to the troll. Over to the hard guy right. What do you got, F dot? What do you got, F dot? I know you got a spiel.
it's your boy F Dot. No. I'm here every Sunday, unlike Krett, who's just a guest. I'm here every Sunday with your boy. What's your name again? Octane Pro.
Yo,
We usually start around 5 p.m. On the Smite Update. But you can find me every weekday morning on twitch.tv/tiermonster. I call it first period. I drink my coffee. We talk Smite, sports, and everything in between. You can also find me elsewhere or other times, usually afternoon, nighttime, whatever, playing Smite or other games as well on my personal channel, twitch.tv/fswag. That's the important one to follow. Also, if you like what I say for some unknown reason, I tweet a lot. You can follow my Twitter.
Taste.
Exactly. You can follow my Twitter at twitter.com/f.swag. I have a bunch of other social media that you can follow me. It's listed on my personal page, twitch.tv/fswag. You can follow me everywhere. Just don't
follow me
home. Thank you.
Oh, so lame. Anyways, folks, I appreciate you guys checking out the show tonight. The audio version is available on iTunes and also Android. So if you guys didn't get a chance or you guys want something to listen to Smite related during the day or on your way to work or at the gym, check it out. Look it up, Smite Update. The video version is available on YouTube, youtube.com/TheSmiteUpdate. Go ahead and check it out. All 45 episodes. That's pretty cool. Be able to say we're almost at 50.
All 5 episodes?
Yeah, that's right. All 5. All 5 episodes.
So, wait.
Wait.
Have I been on 45 of these?
No, thankfully not.
So, when did the show actually start?
Actually started...
With me, because that's when it actually
I'd have to look
started.
when Dry Bear and I actually started the show.
No. Driver has 0 fans.
I don't know. I don't know. I think maybe you came on around 30. I want to say. Maybe.
So that's when the show actually started?
I did not say that.
That's what I said.
But yeah, make sure you guys check out the VODs if you guys want to check out previous shows. The Smite Update, check it out there. Special thanks to everyone on the iTunes store that left us 5-star reviews. You guys are awesome. Do you have a comment to make, sir?
Yeah, we didn't mention the MOBA bomb thing.
Oh, MMO bomb.
Yeah, vote for Smite.
All right, you know what?
Us versus Warframe.
We'll pimp it out. You got a link?
I'm looking for it.
All right, cool.
I can probably find it, but that's important. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
I can't
Probably
link it if I
dissuade you.
find it. So.
Oh, you fail. Anyways, guys, so there's definitely there we go. Is that it? Yep, there it is right there. Right in chat. Moderator on it. Havoc right on it. Vote on MMO bomb. The F2P showdown right now. Smite is actually in the finals, which is awesome. And please make sure that you guys do it. There's only 1 day left. Or wait, thank you for voting. The results will be revealed. Yeah, the results are revealed tomorrow, so that's pretty exciting for sure.
Let's go Smite. Let's
go
Smite.
I know,
Let's
right?
go Smite. Let's go Smite.
Do it.
Let's go Smite.
We've blown everyone else out of the water, so I really hope we do. For sure. So outside of that, guys, special thanks to Hi-Rez Studios for allowing the Smite Update to be on the Smite game channel. It's been amazing, allowed us to go ahead and reach out to a larger audience. And you guys have been very accepting of it and really enjoyed it. But if you guys have any comments, recommendations, please go ahead and email them to smiteupdate@gmail.com. And we'll definitely go ahead and review those for next show. So, hey, wanted you guys to cover more of this or less of this or criticize this, or you don't like F-Dot, you want me to find a different host, definitely will. You know, please let me know, without a doubt, bro. Without a doubt. And we will be expanding our full-time staff here in the next few weeks, so we're looking forward to that as well. And but we will continue to have on guest hosts, without a doubt. There will not be a Smite talk tonight. We were going to have Zimstar from Team Solo Mid on, But unfortunately, the way that things worked out is that because there were some Twitch technical issues early on, it caused Smite Update to start really late, and then Smite Talk kind of didn't really happen because of that. So we're going to arrange to have some of the guys from Team Solo Mid on future shows of Smite Talk to kind of talk to them, them being the world best right now in Smite. So it'll be cool to have them on without a doubt. If you guys are checking out the show for the first time, it airs every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/SmiteGame if you're checking out the VOD there. And if you guys want to go ahead and find more of my content, twitch.tv/OctanePro SCII, and same thing with Twitter. And we will see you guys next week. Take care, folks.